The station's main hall was quiet when Ambassador Vrextal arrived. His 4 arms carried data tablets covered in symbols that humans could barely read. His 3 eyes looked at everything with cold interest. Behind him, 12 guards walked in perfect formation. Their armor shined under the lights of Earth Station Alpha. Ambassador Jinho Park waited at the main table. He wore simple gray clothes that humans used for important meetings. Next to him sat Intelligence Officer Min Seo Kim. She looked young, but her eyes were sharp and careful. She watched every movement the aliens made. "Welcome to human space," Jinho said. His voice was calm and professional. "We are happy to discuss peace between our people." Vrextal's mouthparts moved in what might have been a smile. "Peace is why we came. The Galactic Coalition wants friendship with humanity." He placed the tablets on the table. "We bring a treaty. Sign it, and both our people will be safe." Minseo picked up one of the tablets. Her fingers moved across the screen, reading fast. The treaty looked good at first. It promised trade routes. It promised protection. It promised a place for humans in the galactic community. "This clause here," she said, pointing at Section 47. "It requires humans to reduce military ships by 90%. Why?" Quote, Vrextal's 3 eyes blinked one after another. "Standard procedure. All coalition members maintain small defense forces. The coalition protects everyone. Large military fleets are not needed." Jinho leaned forward. "But we just arrived in galactic space 50 years ago. Our colonies spread across 12 systems. We need ships to protect our trade routes and people." "The coalition will protect you," Vrextal said. His voice had no emotion. "That is the point of joining. You give up dangerous weapons. We keep everyone safe." Minseo and Jinho looked at each other. Something felt wrong. The treaty seemed too demanding. Why would the coalition want humans nearly defenseless? "We need time to review this," Jinho said. "Such an important decision requires careful thought." Vrextal stood up. All 4 of his arms moved in a gesture that seemed annoyed. "You have 3 days. Then we need your answer." He and his guards left the room. Their footsteps echoed in the empty hall. When the doors closed, Minseo immediately activated her security tablet. "I don't trust him. Something about this feels like a trap." "I agree," Jinho said. "Contact Fleet Command. Tell them to watch for unusual activity near our borders." Minseo worked through the night. She connected with intelligence stations across human space. Her team watched coalition ship movements. They listened to encrypted communications. They searched for any sign of danger. At dawn, she burst into Jinho's office. Her face was pale. "We found something. The coalition is moving massive military forces to our border systems. Over 500 warships. They're positioning for simultaneous attacks on all 12 of our colonies." Jinho felt his blood turn cold. "They're planning to attack us? The treaty is a trap," Minseo said. "They want us to destroy our own fleet. Then they'll strike when we're defenseless. Intelligence shows they plan to eliminate human expansion completely." Jinho grabbed his communication device. "Get me Fleet Admiral Sung Jae Lee immediately." 30 minutes later, they stood in the war room deep inside the station. Admiral Lee looked at the star maps showing coalition fleet positions. He was an old man with gray hair and tired eyes. But those eyes burned with anger now. "They think we're weak," Admiral Lee said quietly. "They think humans are easy to destroy because we're emotional and scattered. Can we fight them?" Jinho asked. 500 coalition warships against our visible fleet of 50 ships? Admiral Lee smiled. It was not a happy smile. "Our visible fleet. Yes. But the coalition doesn't know everything about humans." Minseo looked confused. "What do you mean?" The Admiral walked to a different screen. He entered secret codes that only he knew. The screen showed strange readings from deep space. Dark zones between stars showed unusual energy signatures. "Humans learned something from our history on Earth," Admiral Lee said. We fought terrible wars. We destroyed each other with weapons that could end the world. We learned a hard lesson. Never let your enemy see all your weapons. Never put all your strength where they can count it. What are you saying? Jinho whispered. 60 years ago, when we first built faster-than-light drives, we made a plan. We knew we would meet aliens someday. We didn't know if they would be friendly or dangerous. So, we prepared for the worst. Admiral Lee pressed another button. The screen showed construction sites hidden in asteroid fields, secret shipyards in dead zones where no one traveled, massive structures that had been built in complete darkness. We called it Project Reaper, the Admiral said. While we built visible colonies and trade ships, we also built warships. Real warships. Ships designed only for war. We hid them in places where no sensors could find them. We told no one outside of the highest command. Even most of our government didn't know. Minseo stared at the screen. The structures were enormous. How many ships? 200 battleships. Each one masses more than 10 coalition dreadnoughts. They have weapons and armor that no one in the galaxy has seen before. We built them to fight and to survive. Alarms suddenly screamed across the station. Red lights flashed. A communications officer shouted, "Admiral, Coalition fleet is jumping into our space." Multiple signatures across all 12 colony systems. Admiral Lee walked calmly to the main command station. Around him, officers ran to their positions. Screens showed coalition warships appearing near every human world. 500 ships spreading across human territory like a net. On the main screen, Coalition Commander Zarketh appeared. He was larger than Vrextal, with armor covered in battle marks. Humans, your time is over. The Coalition claims these systems. Surrender or die. Admiral Lee sat in his command chair. He looked at the Coalition commander with no fear. You made a mistake. You thought we were weak. You thought we were unprepared. You planned to murder billions of humans while they slept. Your tiny fleet cannot stop us, Zarketh laughed. We have 10 ships for every one of yours. That's true, Admiral Lee said quietly. 10 to 1 is bad odds. But you're not fighting 50 ships. He pressed a single button on his chair. You're fighting 250. He leaned forward and spoke one command that would change everything. Wake the Reapers. Across all 12 human systems, in the dark spaces between planets, something responded. Space itself seemed to twist. Energy signatures that looked like empty nothing suddenly became solid. Massive shapes emerged from stealth fields that had hidden them for decades. Zarketh's face on the screen changed from confident to confused. His sensors were screaming warnings. Ships were appearing everywhere. Huge ships. Dark ships. Ships that made his dreadnoughts look small. Near Earth, near Mars, near every human colony, the Reaper fleet came awake. 200 battleships that humanity had built in secret. Ships designed for a single purpose: to protect human life against anyone who threatened it. The trap was not for humans. The trap was for the Coalition. They had come to fight 50 ships. Now they faced 250. And these were not normal warships. These were Reapers. And the galaxy was about to learn what that meant. The Coalition attack began exactly as they planned. 500 warships spread across human space like a dark cloud. They moved toward colonies and trade stations with weapons charged. Their commanders expected easy victory. Commander Zarketh watched from his flagship as his ships approached the human colony on Proxima 7. The planet below held 2 million humans. His sensors showed only weak orbital defenses, 3 small defense platforms and 2 escort ships. Nothing that could stop his squadron of 20 warships. Target the orbital platforms first, Zarketh ordered. Then the surface settlements. His weapons officer fired. Bright energy beams crossed space and hit the platforms. They exploded in seconds. The 2 human escort ships tried to fight back. Their weapons were small and weak. Zarketh's ships destroyed them without taking damage. This is too easy, his tactical officer said. Where is their main fleet? Zarketh smiled with his mouth parts. Running away, probably. Humans are cowards. They know they cannot win. Readers. Readers not Lena. Readers not win. Readers not win. Readers not win. On the planet below, human colonists ran to emergency shelters. Alarms screamed warnings. Parents grabbed children. Everyone moved fast but calm. They had practiced this many times. They knew what to do. But in orbit, something strange happened. Zarketh's sensors began showing impossible readings. Something massive was approaching. Something his instruments said could not be real. Commander, we have a contact, his sensor officer said. Her voice shook. It's huge, bigger than our entire squadron combined. Space itself seemed to split open. A shape emerged from darkness that sensors could not see through. It was black, completely black. The hull absorbed all light and scanning beams. Only its outline was visible against the stars. The shape was a ship. The largest ship Zarketh had ever seen. It was 3 kilometers long and 1 kilometer wide. The surface was covered in weapons. Hundreds of weapons. Maybe thousands. And it was moving toward his squadron. From Earth Station Alpha, Admiral Lee watched on his command screens. He activated his communication system to broadcast on all frequencies. Everyone would hear this. Coalition, neutral species, and humans everywhere. Attention Coalition forces, Admiral Lee said. His voice was calm and clear. You came here planning genocide. You thought we were weak. You believed humans would be easy to destroy. But you made one mistake. He paused. On screens across the galaxy, people watched and listened. You never asked what humans do when we're afraid. Admiral Lee continued. You never wondered what we build when we know others want us dead. Let me show you. Near Proxima 7, the massive black ship powered all its systems. The hull lit up from inside as the reactor came fully online. Energy readings made Coalition sensors scream. This one ship produced more power than 10 of their dreadnoughts. This is Captain He Jin Choi of the human battleship, Indomitable. A woman's voice came over communications. She sounded young but completely confident. Coalition squadron near Proxima 7. You have one chance. Leave now. Or I will destroy every one of your ships. Zarketh laughed. One ship against 20? You're brave, but stupid, human. Fire all weapons. His 20 ships fired together. Energy beams and plasma missiles filled space. Enough firepower to destroy a moon hit the Indomitable. The black ship disappeared in the explosion. For a moment, Zarketh thought he won. Then the explosions cleared. The Indomitable floated in space, completely undamaged. Its black armor had absorbed everything. Not even a scratch showed on the hull. Impossible. Zarketh whispered. Your turn, Captain Chai said. The Indomitable's weapons fired. But these were not energy weapons. These were physical weapons. Railguns. Massive magnetic accelerators that threw solid metal slugs at incredible speed. The slugs were only 1 meter long, but they moved at a significant fraction of light speed. Coalition shields were designed to stop energy weapons. They could not stop solid matter moving that fast. The first slug hit Zarketh's cruiser directly. It went through the shield like it was not there. It went through the armor like paper. It went through the entire ship from front to back. The cruiser exploded. The Indomitable fired again and again. Each shot destroyed 1 Coalition ship. The railguns needed only 3 minutes to fire 20 times. 3 minutes to destroy 20 ships. Zarketh's flagship was last. He sat in his command chair, frozen with fear. He watched the black ship turn its weapons toward him. He tried to give orders, but words would not come. The final railgun slug hit his flagship in the engine section. The reactor lost containment. The explosion was visible from the planet's surface. Captain Choi watched the debris field spread. Her tactical officer, Young Min Song, stood next to her. He was checking damage reports. All enemy ships destroyed, Youngmin said. Indomitable took no damage. All systems operating at full capacity. Good, Choi said. Send message to Admiral Lee. Proxima 7 is secure. Ready for next target. But similar scenes played across all 12 human systems. More massive black ships emerged from hiding. Each one appeared near a coalition attack force. Each one brought overwhelming firepower. The coalition scouts sent desperate messages back to their high command. They reported impossible ships, weapons that went through shields, armor that could not be damaged. They reported losing ships faster than they could count. The coalition high commander received all these reports. He looked at the battle map in horror. His 500 ships were being destroyed. In the first hour, 50 were already gone. The losses accelerated. How many ships do humans have? He demanded. An intelligence officer checked incoming data. Her face went pale. We count 200 battleships. All of massive size. All with capabilities beyond our technology. And, she paused. The word sent cold fear through the command center. Hunting. The human ships were not waiting for coalition forces to attack. They were chasing coalition ships down. In space near Mars Colony, another coalition squadron tried to retreat. 10 ships turned and ran at maximum speed. Behind them, a human Reaper battleship named Relentless pursued. The coalition ships were fast. But the Relentless was faster. It accelerated smoothly, closing the distance. The coalition commander could not believe it. His instruments said the massive human ship should be slow. It was a fortress. Fortresses do not move like fighters. But it did. The Relentless caught the fleeing squadron in minutes. Its railguns fired in a precise pattern. 1 shot per ship. 10 shots. 10 kills. No survivors. All across human space, the pattern repeated. Coalition forces tried to fight. They tried to run. Nothing worked. The Reaper fleet was everywhere. The black ships hunted with cold efficiency. By the end of the first day, coalition casualties reached 100 ships. Their attack plan collapsed completely. Commanders who survived sent one message back to coalition space. Retreat. Retreat now. The humans have weapons we cannot fight. From Earth Station Alpha, Admiral Lee broadcast again. This time his voice was hard and angry. You planned to kill us all. You brought 500 warships to exterminate humanity. You thought we would be easy prey. He paused. You learned something today. Humans prepare for threats. Humans build weapons in secret. Humans defend their families with everything they have. On the screen behind him, images showed the Reaper fleet in formation. 200 massive warships. Each one a fortress. Each one built over decades in complete secrecy. Each one designed with one purpose. Keep humans alive. These ships are called Reapers, Admiral Lee said. We built them, hoping we would never need them. We hid them, praying no one would make us use them. But you came. You brought war. You tried to commit genocide. His voice became quieter but more frightening. Now face what humanity builds when we're afraid. Now understand what happens when you threaten us. The Reapers are awake. And they will not stop until every one of your warships is destroyed or surrendered. Coalition Commander Zarketh's second-in-command took control of the surviving fleet. He sent one message to all coalition ships. Fall back to Rally Point Tertius. Regroup for counteroffensive. Over the next 6 hours, coalition ships fled from all 12 human systems. They ran as fast as their engines allowed. Behind them, the Reaper fleet pursued, but did not chase beyond human borders. They let the coalition go. For now, 430 coalition ships reached the rally point. They had started with 500. 70 ships destroyed in one day. The commanders gathered in holographic conference. They looked at each other with shock and fear. What are those ships? One commander asked. How do humans have such technology? Nobody had answers. But they all knew one thing. They had walked into a trap. They came expecting to hunt humans. Instead, they became the prey. Coalition Commander Kelvar stood before the High Council. His uniform was clean, but his face showed the stress of defeat. Around him, holographic projections showed the 12 High Council members. They ruled the coalition from their home worlds across the galaxy. Explain this disaster, Council Leader Thexnal demanded. His voice echoed in the chamber. You lost 70 ships in one day. 70 ships against primitives who joined galactic space only 50 years ago. Kelvar kept his voice steady. The humans had weapons we did not know about. Their battleships are larger and more powerful than anything in our fleet. Their armor cannot be penetrated by our weapons. Their railguns go through our shields like they do not exist. Impossible, another council member said. Our intelligence reported humans had only 50 ships. Small ships. Weak ships. That is what they wanted us to believe, Kelvar said. They hid 200 battleships in dead zones, where sensors cannot reach. They built them in secret over decades. These ships are not civilian vessels converted for war. They are pure military design, built only for killing. The council members spoke among themselves. Their voices mixed into angry noise. Finally, Thexnal raised one limb for silence. We have 800 fresh ships mobilizing now, Thexnal said. Take them. Destroy the humans. Do not return until human space is ours. Kelvar wanted to argue. He wanted to say this was foolish. But he knew better. The council did not accept failure. He saluted and left. In human space, Admiral Lee gathered his fleet captains in holographic conference. 200 faces looked at him from their ship bridges. Captain Choi of the Indomitable was there. So were captains of every Reaper battleship. Coalition is sending reinforcements, Admiral Lee said. Intelligence reports 800 ships are moving toward our borders. They will arrive in 3 days. Some captains looked worried. Others looked angry. Captain Choi spoke first. 800 against our 200. Still bad odds. But we proved our ships are superior. The Reapers were built for this. Admiral Lee agreed. Let me explain their design philosophy. The Coalition builds ships for glory, for display, for intimidation. They put energy into shields and beam weapons. They make their ships beautiful. He activated a holographic model of a Reaper battleship. The dark hull rotated slowly. We built for war. Only war. Every system on a Reaper exists to destroy enemies or survive damage. There is no decoration, no wasted space. The armor is layered composite that no one else uses. Coalition focused on energy shields and forgot about physical protection. Our railguns use that weakness. Engineer Ji-Woo Park spoke up. She worked on the Reaper design team. Our reactor design produces 3 times the power of Coalition reactors. They said our design was impossible. We proved them wrong. The extra power means faster speed, stronger shields, and more weapons fire. Speed is our advantage, another captain added. Coalition thinks fortresses are slow. They expect us to defend positions. We can chase them down instead. Admiral Lee nodded. Exactly. When the Coalition arrives with 800 ships, we will not wait for them. We will hunt them in small groups. Use our speed and armor. Target their supply lines. Destroy their coordination. Make them afraid. The meeting ended. Each captain returned to their ship with clear orders. The Reaper fleet would split into hunter groups. They would strike fast and disappear. They would make the Coalition fear empty space. 3 days later, Coalition reinforcements entered human territory. 800 warships in formation. Kelvar commanded from his new flagship, Eternal Glory. He felt better with so many ships. Surely numbers would win. His sensors immediately detected human ships, but not in defensive positions. The Reapers were moving in scattered groups. They looked like they were avoiding battle. "They are running," Kelvar said with satisfaction. "All ships, pursue. Do not let them escape." It was exactly what Admiral Lee wanted. The Coalition fleet broke formation to chase different Reaper groups. The organized attack became scattered hunting. Captain Choi led 5 Reapers through an asteroid belt. Her sensors showed 40 Coalition ships following. Their commander thought he trapped her. He was wrong. "Take positions," Choi ordered. Her 5 ships moved behind large asteroids. The dark hulls became nearly invisible against the rock. Young Min Song worked his tactical station. Enemy squadron entering the belt. "They are searching for us." "Wait," Choi said calmly. "Let them get deep inside." The 40 Coalition ships spread through the asteroids. Their active sensors pinged constantly, trying to find the Reapers. But the black armor absorbed the sensor beams. The Coalition sensors showed nothing but rocks. "Now," Choi said quietly, the Indomitable rose from behind its asteroid. It was above the Coalition formation. Every weapon locked onto different targets. The railguns fired. 5 Coalition ships exploded before they even knew what happened. The other 4 Reapers emerged from different positions. They created a crossfire that trapped the Coalition squadron. "Return fire!" The Coalition commander screamed. His ships tried to shoot at the Reapers, but the asteroids blocked their aim. The Reapers had cover. The Coalition ships did not. It took 10 minutes. 40 Coalition ships destroyed, 5 Reapers without a scratch. The debris drifted slowly through the asteroid field. "Send report to Admiral Lee," Choi said. "Ambush successful, moving to next target." Similar ambushes happened across human space. Coalition squadrons that broke formation to hunt were destroyed in detail. Supply convoys traveling to support the attack were intercepted and eliminated. The Coalition slowly realized their mistake. At Coalition High Command, Intelligence Officer Min Seo Kim's counterpart worked desperately. She intercepted human communications. She analyzed battle reports. What she found made her sick. In the Coalition databases, she discovered the truth about their war plan. It was not just military conquest. The Coalition planned complete genocide. After disarming humanity, they would release biological weapons on all colonies. They would sterilize every human world. The Coalition considered humans genetic pollution that needed elimination. She reported this to her superiors. They ordered her to keep it secret. She refused. She sent the data to neutral species across the galaxy. She included all evidence, all communications, all plans. The galactic reaction was immediate. Neutral species that had stayed quiet now spoke against the Coalition. The Vorqual Confederacy called it attempted xenocide. The Tentari Republic sent supplies to human colonies. The Coalition's reputation collapsed. More importantly, humans learned the truth. They learned the Coalition did not just want to conquer them. The Coalition wanted to erase humanity completely from existence. When Captain Choi heard this news, she gathered her crew. The Indomitable's personnel filled the main hangar bay. Over 3,000 humans looked up at their captain. "You have heard the reports," Choi said. Her voice carried across the bay. The Coalition did not come for territory. They came to kill every human in the galaxy. Our parents, our children, everyone we love. They planned to exterminate us, like insects. The crew was silent. Some had tears. Most had expressions of cold anger. "They thought we would be easy to kill," Choi continued. "They thought we were weak because we feel emotions, because we care about each other. They did not understand that those emotions make us stronger. We fight not for glory, not for conquest. We fight to protect our families." She pointed at the screens showing space outside. "Out there, 800 Coalition ships still hunt us. They still think they can win. Let us show them they are wrong." Let us show them what happens when you threaten humanity. To your stations. We have work to do. Right. Dodd. Awe. The crew dispersed with renewed determination. They moved to their positions with purpose. The Indomitable's engines powered up to full strength. In space, the Coalition's 800 ships had already lost 100. Ambushes and supply raids were destroying them slowly. Kelvar looked at his casualty reports with growing horror. His fleet was being picked apart. All ships, reform main fleet, he ordered. We stay together. No more small groups. The remaining 700 Coalition ships gathered into one massive formation. They moved cautiously toward Earth. If they could not chase the Reapers down, they would attack the human homeworld. Force the humans to defend it. Admiral Lee watched them come. He sat in his command chair on Earth Station Alpha. Around him, officers tracked every Coalition ship. They are reforming, his tactical officer reported. All 700 ships moving together toward Earth. Good, Admiral Lee said. Send signal to all Reaper groups. Return to Earth space. Time to end this. Across human territory, the Reaper fleet turned. 200 battleships began converging on Earth. They moved at maximum speed, dark shapes cutting through space. The Coalition fleet arrived at Earth's outer system, 700 ships in tight formation. Kelvar looked at his sensors. The Reaper fleet was coming to meet them. All 200 ships. This would be the decisive battle. Prepare all weapons, Kelvar ordered. We have numbers. We will overwhelm them with concentrated fire. His fleet formed into a traditional battle wall. Every ship side by side. Weapons facing forward. It was the standard Coalition tactic. Use superior numbers to create unstoppable firepower. The Reaper fleet did not form a battle line. They came in scattered groups. 5 ships here, 10 ships there, moving independently, but with clear coordination. What are they doing? Kelvar's tactical officer asked. That formation makes no sense. They do not know proper tactics, Kelvar said. They are amateurs. Fire when in range. The two fleets closed. Space between them shrank. 100,000 kilometers. 50,000. 20,000. Close enough for weapons range. Fire, Kelvar shouted. 700 Coalition ships fired together. Energy beams and plasma missiles filled space. It was the most massive firepower demonstration in galactic history. Enough energy to destroy moons lit up the darkness. The Reaper fleet shields flared bright as they absorbed the attack. Some outer armor took damage. A few ships reported minor system failures. But none were destroyed. Then the Reapers fired back. 200 battleships unleashed their railguns. Solid slugs crossed space at incredible velocity. No energy waste. Just physics. Just mass times acceleration. The railgun slugs hit the Coalition battle wall like hammers striking glass. Shields designed for energy weapons could not stop solid matter moving so fast. The first volley destroyed 30 Coalition ships. Metal slugs punched through hulls, through reactor cores, through everything. Kelvar watched from his flagship as ships around him exploded. His confident smile disappeared. His 3 eyes went wide with fear. Return fire! All weapons! The Coalition fleet fired again. More energy beams. More plasma. The Reapers absorbed it like before. Their layered armor was built for this. Each layer was designed to handle specific damage types. Energy weapons had to burn through multiple barriers. It took time. Too much time. The Reapers fired their second volley. 40 more Coalition ships died. The explosions created a debris field that blocked sensors. The Coalition formation began breaking apart. Maintain formation, Kelvar ordered. But the chaos was too great. Ships moved to avoid debris. Some tried to get better, firing positions. The organized battle wall became scattered groups. Captain Choi saw the opening. Tactical. Mark the Coalition flagship. All nearby Reaper groups coordinate fire on command ship escorts. The Indomitable and 9 other Reapers focused on Kelvar's position. They moved through the battle with surprising speed. Their dark hulls made them hard to track in the chaos. Coalition ships fired at them but mostly missed. They are targeting me, Kelvar realized. Escort screen. Intercept those ships. 20 Coalition warships moved to protect their commander. They put themselves between the Reapers and the flagship. They fired everything they had. The lead Reaper took multiple hits. Its forward armor glowed red from energy weapon impacts. But it kept coming. The armor was thick. Very thick. It would take sustained fire to penetrate it. The Reapers did not give them time. 10 ships fired as one. 20 escort vessels exploded in seconds. The path to Kelvar's flagship was clear. "All power to shields," Kelvar shouted. His crew worked desperately. The flagship's shields reached maximum strength. It did not matter. Multiple railgun slugs hit the Eternal Glory from different angles. One punched through the bridge section. The armored glass shattered. Air rushed out into space. Kelvar grabbed his command chair as the atmosphere escaped. His crew died around him. Emergency systems sealed the bridge section. But the ship was crippled. Engines offline. Weapons offline. Shields failing. Kelvar sat in darkness, breathing from emergency air supply. "Flagship is disabled," a Reaper tactical officer reported. Coalition command structure collapsing. Without central coordination, Coalition ships began acting independently. Some captains tried to fight. Some tried to run. There was no organized response. The battle became chaos. Admiral Lee watched from Earth Station Alpha. His command screens showed the battle in detail. Coalition ships died by the dozens. His forces were winning. But something bothered him. "They are desperate," he said quietly. "Desperate enemies do dangerous things." He was right. Coalition ships suddenly changed tactics. Instead of trying to win, they tried to cause maximum damage. 50 ships accelerated toward Earth at maximum speed. Their reactors were overloading. They planned to ram the planet and self-destruct. "Intercept those ships," Admiral Lee ordered. "Do not let them reach Earth." 10 Reaper battleships moved to block the suicide run. They positioned themselves between the approaching ships and the planet. Their railguns fired continuously. Each shot destroyed one Coalition ship, but 50 ships were coming fast. The mathematics were simple. 10 Reapers, 50 targets. Not enough time to kill them all before they reached ramming range. "Brace for impact," Captain Hee-Suk Nam said from the Reaper battleship Defiant. Her ship was directly in the path of 5 Coalition ships. She knew what would happen. "Send message to Earth. Tell my family I love them." The Coalition ships reached the Reaper defensive line. 3 of them were destroyed at the last second. 2 got through. They slammed into the Defiant at full speed. Their overloading reactors detonated. The explosion was massive. It consumed the Defiant completely. The battleship broke apart under the force. Over 3,000 crew members died in seconds, but they stopped the suicide run. The other Reapers destroyed the remaining Coalition ships before they could reach Earth. The planet was safe, but the cost was high. Admiral Lee watched the Defiant's signal disappear from his screens. He closed his eyes for a moment. Then he opened them and continued commanding. Grief would come later. Now he had work to finish. Across the battle, Coalition ships realized their suicide tactic failed. Those who tried were destroyed. Those who remained faced the simple fact: they were losing. Badly. Kelvar's second officer took command from a surviving ship. He looked at the tactical display. Started with 800 ships. Now, only 300 remained combat effective. 200 more were damaged and fleeing. The Reaper fleet was still at nearly full strength, Send signal to all ships, the second officer said quietly. All ships. Retreat. Fall back to Coalition space. The order went out. Coalition ships that could still move turned and ran. Their faster-than-light drives charged. One by one, they jumped away from Earth space. They left their dead behind. Over 500 ships destroyed. Thousands of crew members dead. The Reapers did not pursue beyond human borders. They let the Coalition run. Admiral Lee's orders were clear. Defend human space, but do not invade Coalition territory. Humanity did not want conquest, only safety. As the last Coalition ship jumped away, the Reaper fleet regrouped near Earth. Captain Choi looked at damage reports from the Indomitable. 30% of the armor was damaged. Some weapon systems needed repair, but the ship was functional. Her crew was alive. Casualties across the fleet? She asked young Min Song. He checked his screens. His face was sad. The Defiant was destroyed. Total loss. 3 other ships took severe damage but can be repaired. Overall, casualties. 200 dead, 800 wounded. It was a small number compared to Coalition losses. But each number was a person. Someone's family member. Someone's friend. Choi felt the weight of it. Send message to Admiral Lee, she said. Battle 1. Earth is secure. Requesting permission to conduct memorial service for the fallen. Permission came quickly. Across the Reaper fleet, crews gathered in their ship's main areas. They held simple ceremonies for those who died. No fancy speeches. Just honest words from people who knew them. On Earth, people watched the battle on their screens. They saw the Coalition arrive with 800 ships. They saw those ships die or run away. They saw the Defiant sacrifice itself to protect the planet. The whole world mourned the lost crew. At Coalition High Command, the remaining council members gathered. They looked at the battle reports in silence. 800 ships sent. 200 returned. Most of those damaged. The greatest military defeat in Coalition history. The humans are stronger than we believed, Council Leader Thexnal said quietly. Their ships are superior. Their tactics are effective. Their determination is absolute. What do we do? Another council member asked. We cannot fight them. We lost over 1,000 ships total. Thexnal's face became hard. There is one option. We still have the Starbreakers. The council chamber went silent. Every member knew what Starbreakers were. Ancient weapons. Banned by galactic law for centuries. Weapons that could destroy entire planets. You cannot be serious, one council member protested. Using Starbreakers would make us criminals in the eyes of all species. We would lose all diplomatic support. We already lost diplomatic support, Thexnal said coldly. The other species know about our genocide plan. They know we tried to exterminate humanity. We have nothing left to lose. If we cannot defeat human ships, we will destroy human worlds. He activated a holographic display. It showed 3 heavily fortified stations in Coalition space. Each station housed a Starbreaker weapon, massive energy projectors that could destabilize a planet's core, cause earthquakes and volcanic eruptions that would make worlds uninhabitable. We target 3 worlds, Thexnal said. Earth, the Mars colony, and Proxima 7. We destroy their population centers, kill billions, force the survivors to surrender. When? A council member asked. 72 hours. The weapons need time to charge. We activate them now. Fire in 3 days. Thexnal looked at the others. Any objections? No one spoke. They were too afraid or too desperate to argue. The decision was made. In human space, Intelligence Officer Min Seo Kim sat at her station on Earth Station Alpha. She monitored Coalition communications constantly. Her team intercepted millions of messages every hour. Most were routine. Some were encrypted, but she could break the codes. Then she saw something that made her blood freeze. A message from Coalition High Command to 3 station commanders. It used the highest level of encryption, the kind used for weapons of mass destruction. She broke the encryption. She read the message. She read it again, hoping she was wrong. She was not wrong. Minseo ran to Admiral Lee's office. She did not knock. She burst through the door. The Admiral looked up, surprised at her panic. "Admiral, we have an emergency," she said. Her voice shook. "The Coalition is activating Starbreakers. They are going to fire on Earth, Mars, and Proxima 7. 72 hours. Admiral Lee stood up slowly. His face showed no emotion, but his hands gripped the desk edge. "Are you certain?" Completely certain. I have the intercepted orders. The weapons are charging now." Minseo put her data tablet on his desk. "Starbreakers can destabilize planetary cores. They will cause catastrophic destruction. Billions will die. We cannot evacuate everyone in time." Admiral Lee looked at the data. He read the technical specifications of Starbreaker weapons. He calculated the timelines. Then, he called an emergency meeting of all senior commanders. Within the hour, every Reaper captain attended by hologram. They listened to Minseo's briefing. They saw the evidence. They understood what it meant. "We cannot stop the energy beams once fired," Captain Choi said. "And we cannot evacuate billions of people in 72 hours. Our only option is to destroy the weapons before they fire. The weapons are at 3 heavily fortified stations," Admiral Lee said. He showed the locations on a star map. Each station is defended by approximately 100 warships, plus station weapons and shields. "We need to divide our fleet." He assigned forces. 80 Reapers would attack the station threatening Earth. 70 would attack the station threatening Mars. 50 would attack the station threatening Proxima 7. "The attacks must be simultaneous," Admiral Lee said. "If we destroy one weapon, the Coalition will fire the others early. We strike all 3 at the exact same time. We have 48 hours to reach the stations. Then, we have one chance to save our worlds." Tron 48 Sax. 10 time. Then, we have 48-hour worlds. The captains understood. This was different from the previous battles. This was not about defeating enemy ships. This was about stopping weapons that could kill billions. Failure was not acceptable. Captain Choi returned to the Indomitable. She gathered her senior officers. They looked tired. The previous battle had been exhausting. Now, they faced another fight. A more important fight. "I will not lie to you," Choi said to her officers. "This mission is dangerous. We are attacking fortified positions. We will take casualties. Some of us may not survive." She looked at each officer. "But if we fail, Earth dies. Mars dies. Proxima 7 dies. Our families die. Everything we fought to protect will be gone. So we will not fail. We cannot fail." Young Min Song spoke quietly. "The mathematics are not in our favor. 70 ships against 100 defenders plus station weapons. Even with our superior technology, we may not break through in time. Then we make our own mathematics," Choi said. "We hit them harder than they expect. We move faster than they can react. We use every advantage we have. And if necessary, we sacrifice ourselves to destroy those weapons." The officers nodded. They understood. This was the moment the Reapers were built for. Not to win glorious victories, but to protect human life, no matter the cost. The Reaper fleet divided into 3 task forces. They jumped to faster-than-light travel. 48 hours to reach their targets. Then, the fate of billions would be decided. Captain Choi stood on the bridge of the Indomitable. Her task force of 70 Reaper battleships traveled through faster-than-light space. They moved toward Station Tertius, where the Starbreaker weapon that threatened Mars was located. Around her, the crew worked in focused silence. Young Min Song checked navigation. 47 hours until we arrive. Coalition defenses will be ready for us. Intelligence shows 100 warships positioned around the station. They know we are coming, Choi agreed. But they do not know how desperate we are. When we arrive, we attack immediately. No warnings. No negotiations. We destroy that weapon, or we die trying. She walked through her ship during the journey. She visited the engine room, where Ji Woo Park's engineering team worked on keeping systems at peak efficiency. She visited Medical Bay, where doctors prepared for casualties. She visited the crew quarters, where young men and women wrote messages to their families. Do you think we will make it back? A young weapons officer asked her. His name was Taeyang Shin. He looked barely 20 years old. Choi did not lie to him. I do not know. The odds are not good. But I know this. If we do not stop that weapon, your family on Mars dies. Everyone on Mars dies. So we will stop it. Whatever it takes. Taeyang nodded slowly. Then I am ready. In another part of space, Admiral Lee led 80 Reapers toward the station, threatening Earth. He sat in his command chair, watching the countdown. 36 hours until arrival. He thought about his wife and children on Earth. He thought about the 2 billion people living on his home world. Admiral, message from the other task forces, his communications officer said. Captain Min reports Task Force Blade is on schedule. Captain Choi reports Task Force Anvil is on schedule. Good, Lee said. Send reply. Stay coordinated. We strike together, or not at all. Captain Jae-hoon Min commanded the smallest task force. Only 50 Reapers headed toward the station, threatening Proxima 7. He knew his force faced the worst odds. Fewer ships, same number of defenders, but he did not hesitate. We are the smallest force, he told his captains. But Proxima 7 has 2 million colonists. Many are children. Families. They deserve to live. We will make sure they do. 48 hours passed quickly. The 3 task forces arrived at their targets simultaneously. Captain Choi's sensors showed Station Tertius orbiting a gas giant. The station was massive, 20 kilometers across. The Starbreaker weapon was visible as a huge energy projector, pointing toward empty space, toward where Mars would be when the weapon fired. Coalition Defense Fleet is in formation around the station, Youngman reported. Confirmed. 100 warships. Multiple weapon platforms on the station itself. Heavy shields protecting the Starbreaker. Time until the weapon fires? Choi asked. 16 hours. The charging sequence is already active. If we do not destroy it in 16 hours, Mars dies. Mars. Choi opened communication to her task force. All ships, this is Choi. You know what we face. You know what happens if we fail. I will not give inspiring speeches. I will only say this. Our families are counting on us. Attack formation. Full speed. Hit them with everything. 70 Reaper battleships accelerated toward the station. They did not try to be clever. No ambush tactics, no tricks. Just raw determination. They charged directly at the defenders. Coalition Commander Vector watched them come. He commanded the defense fleet from his flagship. Foolish humans. They attacked directly into our prepared defenses. All ships, open fire. 100 coalition warships fired together. Energy beams and missiles filled space. The Reapers' shields lit up bright as they absorbed the attack. Several ships reported armor damage. But they kept coming. Return fire, Choi ordered. Target their command ships first. The Reaper railguns fired. Even while taking damage, their targeting was precise. The first volley destroyed 15 coalition ships. 15 command vessels, identified by their communication patterns. The coalition formation wavered. Vector felt his ship shake from nearby explosions. Maintain formation. Focus fire on the lead ships. The coalition concentrated their weapons on the front Reapers. The Indomitable was in the lead. It took massive amounts of fire. Its forward armor began to fail. Warning lights flashed on the bridge. Forward armor at 40%, the damage control officer reported. Hull breaches on decks 3 and 7. Keep going, Choi said calmly. All power to forward shields. We need to reach the station. Around her, other Reapers pushed forward, despite damage. They created a wall of ships that absorbed punishment and kept advancing. The Coalition fired desperately. They destroyed 3 Reapers. Then 5 more. But the rest kept coming. The Reapers reached close range. Now their superior armor became the deciding factor. At close range, they could fire continuously while the Coalition struggled to penetrate their hulls. The battle became brutal. Ships on both sides exploded, space filled with debris and radiation. 40 Coalition ships destroyed, Young Min reported. We have lost 8 Reapers. 20 more. Heavily damaged. The station shields are still up, Choi said. We need to break through to the Starbreaker itself. She made a decision. A hard decision. All ships. Concentrate fire on one section of the station shields. Pour everything into that one point. Ignore the enemy ships. Focus on the shields. And Passin. Weth. It was risky. It meant taking fire without fighting back against the warships. But it was the only way to break through massive station defenses. 70 Reaper battleships turned their weapons on one small section of the station shield. Hundreds of railguns fired at the same spot. The shield glowed bright white. Energy readings went off the scale. The Coalition generator tried to compensate. It could not handle the focused assault. The shield section failed. A gap opened in the station's defenses. Now, Choi ordered. Boarding teams, launch. Small assault shuttles launched from the Reapers. They carried Marine teams trained for this exact mission. The shuttles flew through the shield gap, while Reapers provided covering fire. Marine Commander So-Yeon Lee led the assault team. Her shuttle took fire from station weapons. The hull shook. One of her Marines died when a hull section ripped open. But they made it through. The shuttle crashed into the station's docking bay. Move! Move! So-Yeon shouted. Their mission was simple. Reach the Starbreaker control room and destroy it. Station defenders fired from defensive positions. Coalition soldiers tried to stop the Marines. Firefights erupted in corridors. So-Yeon's team fought through with determination. They had 15 hours. Not enough time to be careful. Charges on the door, So-Yeon ordered. They reached a heavily armored door marked with Coalition symbols. It led to the weapon control center. Her demo expert placed explosives. Everyone took cover. The explosion was massive in the enclosed space. The door blew inward. Marines charged through smoke and fire. Inside, Coalition technicians worked desperately to keep the weapon charging. They looked up in fear as armored humans burst into the room. Stop the weapon, So-Yeon ordered. The Coalition technicians refused. They were loyal or afraid. It did not matter. So-Yeon's demolition expert went straight to the control systems. He placed charges on the main computers, on the power conduits, on everything that controlled the Starbreaker. Charges set, he shouted. 30 seconds. Everyone out. So-Yeon ordered. The Marines ran. They sprinted back through corridors, past Coalition soldiers, toward the docking bay. 25 seconds. 20 seconds. They reached their shuttle. Engines were damaged but functional. The pilot got them airborne. 15 seconds. 10 seconds. The shuttle cleared the station. 5 seconds. 3 seconds. 1. The explosives detonated. The control systems exploded. Power conduits overloaded. The Starbreaker weapons charging sequence stopped. The massive energy that had been building discharged harmlessly into space. A bright flash that could be seen across the system. But no danger to Mars. Weapon destroyed, Young Min shouted on the Indomitable bridge. Similar scenes played out at the other two stations. Admiral Lee's task force hammer fought through heavy defenses. They lost 30 Reapers, but broke through. Their Marines destroyed the weapon, threatening Earth with only minutes to spare. But at the third station, Captain Min's task force blade faced disaster. With only 50 ships against 100 defenders, the mathematics worked against them. They fought bravely. They destroyed enemy ships. But they could not break through fast enough. "We are out of time," Captain Min said quietly. He looked at his tactical display. The weapon would fire in 3 minutes. His ships were still fighting the defense fleet. The station shields were still up. There was no way to reach the weapon in time. He made the only choice left. "All ships. This is Min. The weapon will fire, unless we stop it now. There is only one way." He paused. "Full speed. Ramming attack. All ships, follow me." His officers understood immediately. They would sacrifice themselves, ram their ships into the Starbreaker, destroy it with their own mass and exploding reactors. "Captain, no." His tactical officer protested. "There must be another way." Cooled. "There is not," Min said. He smiled sadly. "But this is what we built these ships for, to protect our people. Tell my family I died doing my duty." 25 Reaper battleships turned toward the station. They accelerated to maximum speed. Their crews knew what was coming. Some said prayers. Some sent final messages. All stayed at their posts. The coalition defenders tried to stop them. They fired everything they had. They destroyed some of the ramming ships. But not enough. Not nearly enough. The Reapers hit the station at full speed. 25 massive battleships. Each one traveling incredibly fast. Each reactor set to overload on impact. The explosions were enormous. The station broke apart. The Starbreaker weapon shattered. The energy that had been charging released in all directions, but not focused on Proxima 7. The colony was safe. All 25 ships were destroyed. All 3,000 crew members died, including Captain Jae-hoon Min. When the news reached Earth Station Alpha, Admiral Lee closed his eyes. He had known Min for 30 years. They served together, trained together. Now, Min was gone, along with 3,000 brave men and women, but they had succeeded. All 3 Starbreakers were destroyed. Earth, Mars, and Proxima 7 were safe. The Coalition's final weapon was gone. Coalition High Command received reports of the failures. All 3 weapons destroyed. The defense fleets shattered. They had nothing left. No weapons. No ships. No options. "Send message to the humans," Council Leader Thexnell said quietly. "Unconditional surrender." The message came to Admiral Lee 6 hours later. He read it carefully. The Coalition surrendered completely. They agreed to all terms. The war was over, but the cost was heavy. 60 Reaper battleships destroyed. 12,000 human casualties. Captain Min and his entire task force gone. Captain Choi attended the memorial service on Mars. Thousands of people gathered. They came to honor the fallen. She stood at the podium and read names. "So many names. They came to kill us," Choi said, after reading the names. "The Coalition brought war to our homes. They planned to exterminate every human in the galaxy. They learned something important. We do not die easily. We fight for our families. We sacrifice for each other. We build weapons we hope to never use. But when forced to fight, we fight to win." She looked up at the sky. The Reapers were built in secret, hidden in darkness. They were our insurance policy, our last defense. Today they proved their worth, not because they were powerful weapons, but because brave people used them to protect innocent lives. The galaxy changed after the war. The Coalition government collapsed. Former Coalition territories asked for human protection. The Galactic Council offered humanity a seat on the Security Council. Neutral species that had feared humans now respected them. Admiral Lee retired 6 months later. He was tired. The war had aged him. Captain Choi became the youngest fleet admiral in human history. She took command of the Reaper fleet. 1 year after the war, a new alien species made first contact with humanity. They were called the Zephrani. They seemed friendly, but cautious. Their ambassador came to Earth Station Alpha. Min Seo Kim, now director of First Contact, met with the Zephrani ambassador. They talked about trade, about culture, about cooperation. Then the ambassador asked about the dark ships they saw on long-range sensors. "What are those vessels?" the ambassador asked. "They appear very powerful, very dangerous." Min Seo looked at him carefully. "Those ships exist because someone once threatened us. They thought we were weak. They tried to exterminate us. They learned. Humanity protects its own." She stood and walked to the window. Outside, the Reaper fleet floated in formation. 240 ships now. Humanity had built 40 more, just in case. "Be our friend," Min Seo said. "And you will never fear those ships. They will protect you too. Be our enemy." She paused. "Be our enemy, and you will understand why they exist." The Zephrani ambassador looked at the dark battleships. He saw their weapons, their armor, their power. He made his choice quickly. "We choose friendship." Min Seo smiled. "Then welcome to humanity's circle of protection." Far in deep space, the Reaper fleet maintained its eternal watch. Silent guardians of human worlds. They were built in secret, revealed in desperation, proven in war. Now they stood as a promise to the galaxy. The promise was simple. Humanity will defend itself. Humanity will protect its people. Humanity will never be helpless again. Those who came in peace would find friendship. Those who came with war would find only death. The Reapers made sure of that. The galaxy learned the lesson well. No one threatened humanity again. Not because humans sought conquest, but because everyone understood the simple truth. Humans prepared for war during peace. They built weapons, hoping never to use them. But when forced to fight, they fought with absolute determination. They sacrificed everything to protect their families. They turned hidden ships into legendary defenders. The war had been intended to take human lives. Instead, it taught the galaxy what happens when you threaten humanity. The Reapers were the lesson. A lesson written in metal and fire and sacrifice, and the galaxy remembered.